Hey, welcome to the Psychic Soul Healer channel. My name is Laura, and I'm going to do a general message for Sagittarius. Know that energy is fluid, so roles can be reversed. You may have to flip it, switch it, twist it. Just take what resonates and leave the rest. Don't force anything. Also, know because energy is fluid, that time is also fluid. So it could be something that I'm talking about in the present moment, something that's happening that did happen, or something that's going to happen in the future. Again, just interpret the message as it best resonates, but don't disregard if it's something that happened in the past, because again, you may be called to look at how it's influencing what's happening in the present moment. Okay, if you're new to the channel, anything that you need to know about what goes on here in the channel, such as, how to win a free psychic reading, you can find that in the description box below. You can also find all the subscriptions through the Patreon link that's in there, and also my website link. All right, let's get going. Right now, we're just going to take a look at what's going on between you and your person, Sagittarius. We're going to look at not just what's going on within the situation, like what's happening and what's going to happen. We're going to look at the spiritual underlining energies, like what is the karmic connection, like what are hidden truths, what are triggers, because a lot of times we're able to shape shift a situation based on this information, because if we understand why a person is getting triggered or what we're doing, we can change that. If we know a hidden truth, it might change again the direction that we're headed in a specific relationship. It's again, knowing more information allows us to see more perspectives of our situation, which allows us to actually not take things personally. All right, first card out is I play dumb to keep you confused. Excuse me. Sagittarius, I believe that you're like connected to someone that plays a lot of games. I feel like for a lot of you guys, you've been in this relationship for a really long time, and the relationship's been over. There's no real love there. I feel like there's a lot of codependency, but I feel like you've outgrown this person, Sagittarian. Like you're trying to like make it work. That's the energy there. Because the person, it's again like, and there's a lot of tension, because again, you're living in a house with someone that plays games, that hasn't played games, that doesn't really isn't. If they're there, they're not emotionally there. They're checked out. That they're not fully present in the relationship. That there's a sense that they don't really want to be in the relationship, because sometimes they act like, oh yeah, I'm here and I'm happy to be here, and other times they're acting like they don't really want to be there. And there's always an underlining energy of you feeling like you're forcing them, like there's always a problem, like it's pulling teeth. That that talk about therapy, and you talk about other things to make it work, but all it does is creates a lot of tension, because I feel like that the person's full of crap, that the person that you either live with this person or you're dating this person to a place where like they're there and sometimes there and sometimes not, sometimes there, sometimes not. And in that, there's always a trigger of feeling abandoned, because you can't feel like you rely on this person. And then when you try and talk to them, Sagittarius, I feel like they like create like they twist it, they gaslight, they make it like, oh, you're always questioning me, like they always act like there's a problem, you're always acting like I'm doing something wrong, when really you're not really doing anything wrong. It's you have a right to set a boundary. This person's not allowing you to set a boundary because they want to keep you confused. And then when you act on it, they're like, oh, I'm gonna act dumb. I know I messed up everything. So it's like there's sense of, again, that this person has knows they haven't treated you right. I feel like, again, this relationship has been one that it's kind of like, I don't want to say that there's no love there, but it's love that when a person has stayed with someone that has continually disrespected someone, so that there's love, but it's almost like a codependency attachment type of love, because again, I don't know if this is you, Sagittarian, but either way, whatever side you're on is not a good side to be on. And I'm sorry to say this for those of you that are tuned in, that are resonating with this. It's when you with someone that you know is lying to you, that plays dumb to try and confuse you, and you're not saying anything, but your intuition is telling you, well, of course it creates a lot of tension. And then it's like, what are they going to talk about? It's like there's a sense that they know they messed up everything already because you don't trust them anymore. So no matter what you do, or no matter what they do, I should say, that it's never going to go back to the way that it was. And both parties know this, you and them, Sagittarius. So whoever you're connected to, it's almost like this person has done this, played these games for so long that you already are like 10 steps ahead of them. Rejection. So, and there's a sense again of that abandonment that I feel like, Sagittarian, that you're getting from this. And so this is a wound that I feel like you grew up with. Maybe like your dad was an alcoholic for some of you, and others, your parents just didn't give you the emotional support that you needed. Again, if our parents were not in a good marriage themselves, they couldn't give you what you needed. And that goes for anybody. So understand the way that a child sees it. So the child self in you saw it was rejection. So the trauma and the wound that keeps on playing out is almost like you keep giving it your all and you keep getting rejected and then abandoned. Because again, it's a child self. It doesn't necessarily mean that that's really how it went down. But if parents are so overwhelmed with their own issues, and you're not emotionally being heard, you would be seen as rejection, and so a sense of abandonment. And so I want to look at the deeper wounds between you and your person. So what's happening right now is more of a spiritual issue. Yes, you're with somebody, but the person in, out, in, out, in, out, they play stupid. It's creating a lot of tension. You know the situation. The other person knows that you know it, but it's also like, I can't really do anything to fix it because you've already shown me that. And, even though I feel like, Sagittarian, you love this person, there's a sense of, I'm so afraid to get close because there's always a sense of rejection. You're always hurting me. So there's again reckless, because your person is acts reckless, and they act reckless because I feel like there's a history of cheating, there's a history of drinking, there's a history of obsessive compulsive behavior. So that could be someone that like is addicted to porn, that could be addicted. So there's these addictions here. So what we see is, again, a very like a codependent relationship, Sagittarian, that I feel like you're in. So there's love there. We'll understand only God's love is perfect, but it's a trauma bond because you're reliving a childhood wound of feeling like you can't be loved, that you feel rejected no matter what you give. And as soon as you give it, as soon as you feel like you could relax, you can't, because this person that you're connected to is reckless. And that would trigger abandonment too, because you don't know what you're dealing with. You don't know what can happen. And then there's dutiful, giving too much to others, neglecting what you need. Make sure to nurture yourself. And this is you, Sagittarius. It's like you're like, there's one person that's reckless doing whatever the hell they want, and the other person that's being overly responsible. And this is what happens in codependent relationships right here. And codependent could be like an alcoholic family, like that dynamic is that one person's doing everything. One person's putting in 1,000%, and the other person is like there but not. And it's again, they already think that the situation's messed up, so they don't really feel like they can fix it. So I want to look at the hidden truth. I want to look at the hidden truth. Okay, I don't react when people mention you. Again, this showing of I act like you don't exist. So I act like you're not that important. So there's a real sense of, I feel like, disrespect. But on the other hand, this person, again, that you're connected to is codependent to you. So they're not really respecting you, but because again, they're not acting like you're a couple. They're not acting like you mean that much to them. Like that they minimize the role that you play in their life. When meanwhile, you're being dutiful, like you're ignoring your own needs. And that's what happens in these codependent relationships. We lose ourselves. You don't know how hard it was to let you go. So I feel like, again, Sagittarius, like you don't want to let this person go, but and it's so hard because you love this person. Like I said, I feel like there's history with this person. This is not the first time. This is not your first rodeo with this person. I feel like the person either comes in and out, in and out, in and out of your life. And then what happens is every time you get comfortable, they again act reckless. They can't, again, that calmness, they didn't grow up in that. So there's a sense of that they recreate the drama in their own life with this reckless behavior. And then when you bring it up to them, they act dumb. And so there's a sense that you're like, I've tried to do everything. I've tried to talk to them. I tried not talking to them. I tried standing on my head. I tried to do this and that. And really, so now you're not saying anything. There's just a lot of tension. It's not comfortable. And it's like, because your person, Sagittarius, knows that you're not happy, because they know that they messed up everything, because you already now know who they are. Because this has been going on for some time. For a lot of you, you've been in a relationship with this person for a long time. Others of you have been in a connection with this person for a long time, where they've come in and out of your life. So again, but they're still not giving you that respect, which is again what's triggering that abandonment again, and that rejection. And so there's a sense that you're finally being like, you know what, I don't want to let this go, but it's killing me. I want to just look at your triggers, Sagittarius. Judged. I felt my thoughts, feelings, and emotions were being judged by you. So I feel as if you both have that wound, Sagittarius. I feel like you, again, every time you try to lay a boundary, this person judged you. Oh, why are you judging me? That they would say that you were judging them. But I don't really feel like you were judging them. Again, I feel like you were trying to lay boundaries. And I feel like that was your person playing stupid, playing games, gaslighting, to kind of keep you stuck. But the whole time you could feel the tension. You're like, I know that, like, I'm not crazy. And then dry spell. I got tired of the dry spells and lack of sexual connection. So it's again that you and your person both feel the same way now, that there's so much anger and animosity. There's so much pain because again of the continuous like repeating and almost opening of an original wound. Here you have an original wound of abandonment, and this person's coming in and out, and like almost ripping that wound open every single time. And so what happens is you don't want to be with the person sexually. It ruins intimacy. Intimacy is all about trust. And this person has done nothing but ruin your trust. So of course the intimacy is shot to shit. It's not going to be, because no one wants to be with someone that they don't trust. It again makes you paranoid. And that is, again, it makes you like, again, I don't trust this person. I'm always waiting for the shoe to drop. This person's reckless with my life. And in that, I am not paying attention to my life. I'm paying attention to your life. So it's, again, this is what a trauma bond is all about. And I'm going to just look at the last, I want to look at the soulmate twin flame card, because again, this is like a soulmate twin flame that gone wrong. Because understand, a trauma bond is that karmic relationships are about learning. So when a person stays in a long relationship like this, there's some sort of contract involved in this. If it's not a twin flame soulmate, it's a trauma bond. But I always feel like twin flame soulmates have that dynamic. They also have this intense love, this blissful love, where the person feels like home, where this is like a trauma bond. There's a lot of karmic contracts here that are going on in this relationship, and I want to know what the hell they are, because this is toxic. This is toxic. Please contact me. I may not respond, but knowing you care opens my heart. So it's, again, there's a sense of, like, again, like your person wanting you to do more. And maybe I'll do it, maybe I don't. It's like, I need to know that you care because I was abandoned. So both you and your person were abandoned. And so in order for your person to feel like strong within themselves, it means that you have to give up yourself, which on some level it meant in childhood you were told that, again, you couldn't have love, that you couldn't have love, that you weren't lovable. So what happens is, again, the rejection of feeling. Now understand this, only God loves perfect. Your person's not going to love you perfect. That's why, again, we have to get our love from many different avenues in life. It doesn't mean that you don't have a person that you love and they love you, and 95% of the time it can be great. It could be off the hook in every area, but no one's perfect. It's like eating your favorite ice cream all day. If you had chocolate ice cream all day for nothing else, you wouldn't like chocolate ice cream after a while. But if you had a tiny little bowl of chocolate ice cream at the end of the day, you begin to look forward to that chocolate ice cream. It's all, again, how much. And I feel like this soul contract, it's, again, was happened because two parties didn't create enough of themselves. And again, when we create enough of ourselves, we don't give too much to anyone, because, again, in creating ourselves, we only have so much time, energy, focus, and money, and the things that grow us, they're also what feeds us passion. And so there's many different layers of passion. Your person is not the only passion in your life, or shouldn't be the only passion in your life. That doesn't mean you need several partners. It means you need several passions. That is what creates a strong second chakra. That is what allows us to be able to go with the flow of life. Again, gives us flexibility, because it's, again, our choice of focus creates balance. That's how we can train a person through how much they love, again, how much we give them. This isn't a story about love. This is a story where it's, again, people grew out of love due to behaviorism. So we have two people existing that are in a codependent relationship. And it's, again, and this is what happens over time. It feels like a karmic contract. And that now It's going to take heavy duty change in order to shift this. It's not an easy shift, so we would call it a karmic contract. All right. I want to thank you, Sagittarian and Cross Watcher, for watching. And until next time, be true to you. I'll talk to you soon. Bye.